Hello and welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. Joining me today is Mathias Larsson, European Commercial Director at Awager. Matthias, many thanks for coming on.
A pleasure to be here. I'm happy to be invited.
So later on, I want to get into the technology, product markets, and particularly kind of who your players are. But firstly, it's the first time we've spoken and you only joined the company 6 or so months ago. So could you tell me a bit more about yourself and what attracted you to the role in the business?
Yeah, so I've been around iGaming industry now for coming into about 15 years. Primarily been focused on the Asian markets earlier on in my career, and been working for both within the live casino space, but primarily in the RNG space. And the last about 7 years, I lived in Europe, down in Marbella, working for Gaming Innovation Group, being part of every Matrix group. But the focus has primarily been on the RNG side, running studios. But Awager, when I started hearing about it, that was already back in 2017, but then under a different name. And then I heard about it again, and it really caught my interest due to the strong ownership of the company, and also where the product is now compared to when I heard about it the first time. So I was very happy when we reached a deal, and I could jump on board.
What was the name of the business at that time?
Back then, it was the product in itself was called Winifar, and the company was then called Softwave. But very different product back then. It was very much in a startup mode by a small company, not putting enough focus on the product. But that changed with the new owners that came on board about a year and a half ago.
Well, that makes perfect sense. So when I started looking into Awager, I didn't come across Winifar, and I thought there was a product like this during COVID. I remember I was thinking, is it the same company? No, I don't remember the name. So that makes perfect sense. So how far has the product come in that time? So I recall at that point it was yeah, as you say, very startup-y, and it was like you can boot up your mobile device and you can play a machine. So how far has that product evolved? How's the value proposition changed?
Yeah, so I mean, now the company is well over 70 people, and we just roll out our version 3 with our client Loto Quebec in Canada. So it's at this stage, the product is basically where we want it to be, where it is a product that have attracted a lot of interest in also in New Jersey, where we're going to go live in very early next year. So internally, from a product perspective, we're very happy with where we are right now. It is a true, genuine, great experience for players. It's a brand new product for the casino vertical. So yeah, this is almost the starting stage, I would say, in some regards.
And for those who are listening or potentially reading this, how does product replicate the physical casino ambience, kind of accurately capturing and conveying that in a virtual setting? Because that's essentially what it is that I can pick this up and then I can play a slot, or I can play a cabinet or any other kind of, maybe a table game perhaps. I'm not too sure whether you've got that at the moment, in a casino floor somewhere in the country.
Exactly. That, yeah, in essence, that's what it is. And it's, when you take in a physical machine and you bring a digital version of that game, in order to work in the digital world, you have to make some restrictions to the game. The file size is much, much smaller. You can't capture the real sound. The graphics, all of that is simply impossible due to file size regulation, right? Well, not regulation, but the file size can't be too big. We don't have that issue at all. So we acquire or lease the physical machines from the most prominent manufacturers all over the world. We put them inside a studio that we build ourselves. And within that studio, we can capture the whole experience of going to a land-based casino. With the sound, for example, we're putting the microphones ahead of just next to the cameras in itself. So primarily you capture the sound from the actual machine, but you also get the sound from all other machines in the exact same way as you would be in a land-based casino. So you're going to hear if there's a jackpot happening in a machine 20 meters from you, you will hear that, and you can actually look around and see what is happening on that machine. And we do the exact same thing. So you get that ambience, you get that feeling and you get to play the titles the way they were meant to be played from the beginning, from the physical machine. So we truly capture that land-based experience that is just impossible to do with a digital version of a land-based game.
So would you say that the player is a land-based player who's at home?
Yeah, to some extent, absolutely, because they are used to these titles. A lot of the land-based players, they have favorite titles that might not have gone digital yet. Even if they have, they would prefer the land-based version of the game. What we also see from Loto Quebec and what we expect to see also from the US is that it's also a product well suited for high stakes players. We expect and we see an average bet amount that is significantly higher compared to a digital version of a game. So it's the combination of both. It's the high stakes players and also land-based players then looking to go online, but with a real version of the land-based games. So yeah.
And on the subject of versions, you mentioned before about a version 3. So what was the second product version and how does the third one build upon it?
It's hard to go into details on that. It's just an improvement in all aspects, on the camera quality, on the sound quality. It's so many things. The UI is different. The various ways of showcasing the games, with the map view, with the grid view, with the camera view. There's so many things that goes into every single upgrade that we do. So it's hard to pinpoint just a few things.
And Loto Quebec, as you mentioned, recently went live, I believe, with 46 machines on the V3 version. So where are these machines, these 46 machines, where are they on the casino floor? Are they kind of literally on the casino floor and they are set aside? So if I'm in the casino and I want to go on that machine, there's like, oh, no, they're set aside for the guys who want to play online? Or is it kind of in its own, are they in their own room? And then that creates that ambience that you're talking about before, so you can hear the other 45 machines.
Yeah, so with this client, these machines are specific for them. They own the machines and they run it themselves. It is a separate area within their casino, since they run a land-based casino as well. And these machines, when we put on our hardware and software, they're dedicated for remote gambling. You can't use them for both. Technically, we could actually make them work for both, but that makes it a bit difficult because then a player would be standing in front of the camera. So it's not great. It is something that we work on, and if we find the right partner, we can build it up. Technically, there are no restraints. So this is a separate area within their casino, and they're very smart with this, because when they then get a client coming to the land-based area and they will see this, it's wide open for them, right? Then they will wonder what's happening here. I can't play these machines. How do I get access? They talk to the staff. They will inform them, well, you can play these machines online. So once you get home, start playing them, or you can even play them actually from the casino floor, but then via the online. So it's a great way. It's a true omni-channel experience that they can bring players from the land-based into their online offering.
So that's where the brand awareness comes from. It comes predominantly from the casino player going into the, say, Loto Quebec's casino and then going, I want a bit of that. Or maybe there's some advertising within the casino. So there's nothing kind of online pushing Awager, or do you assist your partners in raising that brand awareness and helping them out in that sense?
Yeah, we still assist them, and we give them as much information as we can, because in Loto Quebec, they are right now exclusive to run this offering. So none of their competitors have got it. And it will be a similar setup in the US as well. When we're going live with one first client, they will have a huge benefit compared to other, because they're offering, it's not like you're offering a game provider that no one has got, because it's just a standard RNG game. Here we're offering a different vertical, if you want to say that, in the online casino space. It's like when live casino came out from the beginning, not everybody had it. The ones they did capture the live casino players, and that's how it started growing. So same thing for us.
And what kind of machines do Awager's players like to play? Are they kind of the old school classics, pull a handle, or is it more the latest and greatest?
Well, so we are in each and every market. We try to replicate the most successful titles and from the most successful manufacturers. So when we're going into Europe, then if we look at UK, for example, then we check what are the best machines on the land-based floor. And I'm not going to mention here on this podcast exactly who we're dealing with, but it is the market leaders in the UK. They have the most successful titles. So we talk to the manufacturers, we talk to the land-based casino owners, and also with in some markets, third-party consultants as well, to get that full data of the most successful machines. And these are the ones that we then buy or lease from the manufacturers. So a player that goes into the Awager offering via an operator website, they will know that these are the successful games. They will recognize all the titles that they want to play on the land base, and they play that by us. And every market is different. UK is different from we're entering Sweden. It's a different offering there, but there in Sweden, then we captured the top titles and the machines for that market.
And you mentioned before about kind of the amount that players are betting on through Awager compared to people who are actually betting online on an RNG. What would you say the metrics for success are when it comes to your partnership, say with Loto Quebec? Is it how much players are betting? Is it how many players are accessing those cabinets? Is it that those cabinets that have been set aside are out competing those that are on the casino floor?
Yeah, for Loto Quebec as also having a land-based offering, for them it's important to see that the machines that they have specific for a wager is generating the same amount or more per machine. It's like a win per unit, per day or per month, whatever metric they want to use, that they outperform it. And when they do, and the occupancy rate goes too high, then they bring more machines into the offering. So that's more similar to how a land-based structure works. That if regulation allows it, then you want to have the perfect amount of machines so that people don't have to stand in line, they don't have to wait. But on the less of the peak times, it's not too many machines to be a financial burden for the company. So that's more towards the land-based, how they operate. We do the same.
And in terms of the UK that you mentioned, that unnamed operator, is there any kind of regulatory issues with going from market to market? Do you need to get some kind of licensing, or can you just hop from market to market, and as long as the operator's got the license, you technically don't need anything?
No, in the same way as an RNG game provider needs to have a license, a game provider license for UKGC, we have to do the same. Some markets are slightly different. In UK, there is one additional license that we need to get that RNG game providers don't. But it's very, very much coming down to market per market, because again, our clients are the online operators, so we need to make sure that our product is following all the regulations that they have to uphold. So far we have not really seen any major differences, to be honest. And neither in New Jersey, where we're going live, it's been treated pretty much as an RNG product. And from an operator perspective, it's also not different. It's a seamless wallet integration. So we're not different in any way. There's no extra work on the operator to take our product, nothing of the sort.
And where are you licensed, and where are you looking to get licensed over the coming 12 months or so?
So we're licensed in New Jersey. And when it comes to US, it's a separate team running that, but that goes state by state as well. In the states where it's today approved with online casino. In Europe, which falls under me, we're starting with UK and with Sweden. In both these markets, we need to have a game provider license. We're keeping a close eye on Holland, which is a very interesting market. We're also looking into Switzerland, Romania, Greece, Spain. Spain stands out a bit because there we need to have our machines based in Spain. And that's different from the other markets where we will build up the studio, not in the actual jurisdiction, but somewhere else.
I think from listening to what you've had to say on this podcast, I'd say Awager is, to me, is one of those companies that's of pushing a boundary in a certain direction that hasn't really been pushed before. Are you hoping that there'll be a broader impact on the industry through your offering, or do you think that it's something that not to say small, but perhaps niche, in that it's only going to be a specific subset of players who would be interested in playing in a land-based environment online? Or do you think it's something that could become kind of more, if not mainstream, a bit more mainstream?
It's hard to say. I mean, we are hoping for a growth that more and more players will adapt to it and like the product. But I think we're pretty much going to follow what we saw with live casino. You know, when that was rolled out, there were a lot of other game providers, other operators just kind of laughing at the concept and say, well, this is not gonna fly. Well, you see the biggest companies in our industry, that's what they do, right? And they're reaching about 15-20% of the player base on the casino. Those tend to play live casino. So it's still not for everyone, but it's a good chunk of the number of players that have an interest in a live casino product. And I mean, we are not a live casino. We don't compete with the live table games that we don't do. So instead, we see that we are bringing new players. It can be a land-based player that yet have not wanted to play online because it doesn't suit them. They don't like the digital versions, and we bring these players now into the online space. It can be live casino players that don't today play RNG slot games, but they will like our product because they used to a real life experience on the table. So I do believe we're bringing a lot of new players to the table. I mean, with the it's a one player per machine. So we can never, ever grow this to be as big as an RNG. It's just impossible. So that is why it is more suitable for the high stakes players as well. So that's we're focusing on that now, and let's see what the future is going to hold.
And a final question on products. How do you envision these features kind of elevating the overall experience? These new features like tournaments and social enhancements. Are you even considering the idea of jackpots or virtual reality? What are you looking to do to foster a greater sense of community amongst players?
Oh, for sure. We look at what has been successful both on the live space and the RNG space, and as you mentioned, jackpot is one of them. So we are adding a jackpot feature to the games. Most of the land-based titles are today connected with the jackpot. So if you go into pretty much any land-based casino all over the world, you see the machines are being put together, and that's a linked progressive jackpot. These are the type of machines we're getting as well. On top of that, we are building our own jackpot system. We're going to build our own tournaments. We have free spins in there already. So we're building out the number of features that we believe as of right now is what the market, what the operators are asking for. Once we've done that, we have an operator first concept where the operators themselves will come to us and say, well, this is something that we really like. Can you build it for us? And with our product going slightly towards the live kind of area, then that opens up for influencers as well, where the operators can bring in influencers. They can play from the studio. We can do a lot of things around that pure digital games simply cannot do. So I think we have an opportunity that many others don't, and we will definitely take advantage of that.
It's a fascinating concept. Mathias, thank you very much for coming on to explain.
No worries. I appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to watch more, why not subscribe to our channel somewhere here.